Welcome to iLecture Online. I thought it might be a good idea to illustrate what we do when we have sample data rather than the entire data set. So we're going to try to find the standard deviation. Remember, we've seen this before, 5 houses sold, but in this case we're going to pretend that this is not the entire data set of a small town. This is a small sampling of a very large city. We randomly picked 5 houses within the city, we got their sale prices, and now we're going to try to find the standard deviation of that set. So let's use our second equation right here. And so first what we want to do is find the x sub I. To make it easier, we'll just take the first 3 digits. So we cut off the zeros for now when we add them later to make it easier to calculate things. So first we're going to take x sub I squared and sum them. So that means the sum of x sub I quantity squared is going to be equal to, and let's say here that would be 160 squared plus 180 squared plus 200 squared plus 220 squared plus 240 squared, and that equals, well, for that we need a calculator. So 160 squared plus 180 squared plus 200 squared plus 220 squared plus 240 squared equals 204,000. That's equal to 204,000. Okay, and of course then we'll have to add 3 more zeros, but we'll worry about that later. Then the next we're going to do is we're going to sum up all the x sub i's. So sum all the x sub i's before we square the whole thing. That's going to be equal to 160 plus 180 plus 200 plus 220 plus 240, and that was equal to, let's see, that's 1,000. And now we're going to take the sum of x sub i's quantity squared divided by n. So this would be 1,000 squared divided by 5, which is a million divided by 5, which is 200,000. 200,000. All right, now we're ready to plug that into our equation. Now notice one big difference from before. In the denominator we have n minus 1 because we want to divide by a smaller number, because when we take a small data set we're more likely to have errors introduced. So we want to expand the standard deviation. So this is going to be equal to, this was equal to 204,000. And subtract from that, we have 200,000. And the whole thing divided by n minus 1, which is 5 minus 1, which is 4. And then we take the square root of that. We'll worry about adding those 3 zeros back later. So that gives us 4,000 divided by 4. And then we take the square root of that, 31.6. All right, so that's going to be the square root of 4,000 divided by 4, which is equal to the square root of 1,000, which is equal to 31.6. 31.6. Now remember, those were in K dollars, so therefore we can say that the standard deviation is equal to 31,600 after we add the 3 zeros back. So there's our standard deviation. The mean of that was equal to $200,000. So now we can see that if we're going to add and subtract one standard deviation, we can say that the mean plus or minus 1 sigma, so plus or minus 1 sigma, gives us a range from $200,000 all the way up to plus 1 sigma, which is 231,600. And when subtract from that, that would be equal to $168,400. There we go. So that would be the range for plus or minus 1 sigma. And again, as the empirical rule goes, that we expect 68% of all our values to fall within that range. So let's take a look here. Well, we can see that 180, 200, and 220 fall within that range. 160 and 240 do not. That's 3 out of 5, which is 60%. So that's pretty close to the 68%, which means that by widening the standard deviation, because we're taking a small sample, we're more likely to encompass the right number of values. So now when we add plus or minus 2 sigma, So 2 sigma is equal to double that. That would be, let's see, that would be 63,200. If we double that amount, and then if we add that, we have the mean of 200,000. When we add 2 sigma, which is 63,200, we get 263,200 on the one side, and we have to subtract from that, we get 136,800 on the other side. So this is the range of plus or minus 2 sigma, and that should encompass about 95% of all the values in our sample. And notice that it includes 100% of the sample, so we're pretty close. And that would then be a pretty good representation of the entire data set of many houses simply by taking a sampling of 5. As long as we took a good random sampling, so we didn't take it from one neighborhood or from another neighborhood, but a little bit from the whole city like that, then we can say that yes, we came up with some pretty good values, and that's how the standard deviation gives us a feel of what to expect when it comes to selling houses in that big city.